Portsmouth's Aspex Gallery is on the hunt for emerging craft artists, designers and makers working in all media for its open submission exhibition Craft Emergency. It's an international opportunity, and to tell us more I have Joanne Bushnell, the director of Aspex Gallery, with me. Thank you very much for coming in. So first of all, just tell us, what is Craft Emergency?
Well, we've been running a project called Emergency for about 14 years, which was focused on finding emerging fine artists, and that's what the gallery is very well known as. But when we moved to Gunwharf Quay about 10 years ago, we started to really develop our craft programme as well, and that's a really great way of bringing audiences into the gallery and presenting work to them that perhaps is easier for them to understand than some of the contemporary fine art we show. So 2 years ago we decided, well, if we're doing a fine art emergency, let's do a craft emergency and use that as an opportunity to showcase the talents of emerging makers and designers.
Because I think often people think that craft is sort of perhaps the sort of poorer sister in art terms. It's something you might find in markets abroad or at fairs, but not necessarily something that you would go and see in a gallery.
Well, a lot of the work we do is really towards the high end of contemporary crafts. So I think that the craft sector is very, very broad, from the sort of the craft markets that you might see in towns across the country, through to really high-end exhibitions like Collect, which the Crafts Council organise at the V&A, that's the Victoria and Albert Museum in London. So where works can be many thousands of pounds and be really extraordinary, luscious, amazing artworks in their own right. But all of that fits into the craft banner, as it were.
But it sort of sounds like there could be a kind of crossover there. You know, if you're thinking of something really high-end, some people would think that that is fine art. So how do you really define what a craft is?
Well, we don't seek to define that. We rely on the artists themselves to define that, and some artists apply to emergency and also apply to craft emergency. I think when we think about craft, we're thinking about more of a focus on material than some contemporary fine artists might do, where their work might go cross materials. In saying that, the current artist that we're showing, Marlene Hartman Museum, who won our last Craft Emergency and has her solo show currently on at the gallery, is a ceramicist but also works with photography and pattern making, and so the work can be really quite broad.
And so if there are some artists out there watching this, what do they need to do to kind of submit their work to be in this exhibition?
All of the details on how to apply on our website. That's www.aspex.org.uk. The deadline for submissions is the 10th of July, and really we want images of the work, about 5 images of a range of works, so that we get a sense of the artist's practice, and short description, CV and so on. So it's really, really simple process.
And you're accepting submissions from anyone, anywhere, really?
Yeah, in the past we've had artists included in the resulting group show, which have been from Italy, from Korea, from
How do they
Australia.
Get their stuff here?
Post. So obviously it tends to be artists that work in a smaller way, and we've had some stunning massive installations, paper installations a couple of years ago. So the work is really diverse, always extraordinary. We expect to have 300 to 400 submissions, and then the 4 selectors will, including Lynn Dick from Making Space, based in Havant, and Annabelle Campbell from the Crafts Council, and Thomas Appleton, the winner of the first Craft Emergency. We'll all come together. We'll select about 10 to 12 artists from the submissions, and then we'll do a group show of that work.
And just finally, compared to kind of the reaction that you get normally from your public coming in, what's the reaction when they go to an exhibition that is just kind of crafts? I think it's often a bit easier to understand than some of the other work we show, but I think there's a real joy in the material, real understanding of the skill required in the making, and that is always really exciting for audiences. Great. I mean, also what you're saying is a little bit more accessible sometimes.
Yeah, I think
perhaps.
so.
Okay.
I think so. In saying that, though, you know, our shows vary enormously from very accessible to complex and require a lot of thought. So that's what we try to do.
Well, thank you very much for coming in and telling us all about it. It will be exciting to see, you know, what the end result is and what submissions you get and what you kind of end up with.
Thank you.